right now, bud. Good morning, Crossroads Nation. Welcome to a great morning we've got in store for you. So grab a cup of coffee, great way to start the day, and buckle up for lots of great information. My name is Skip Nelson. I'm a financial advisor with 𝙃𝙤𝙣𝙤𝙧 Financial, and one of the many volunteers here to bring you the Crossroads career transition resources. And we've got lots of resources, great information this morning. And after that, I'll go through many of the resources that are free and available to you in your job transition. So make sure you stick around. One of which actually being this book called How Long, Our Lord, How Long by 𝙃𝙤𝙣𝙤𝙧𝙞𝙣 Devotions and Stuff for Job Transition, which I think you'll find. So stick around and I'll let you know how you can get a free copy of that toward the end. But I wanted to open up the book and relate something that kind of hit me, because I went through job transition myself, and it can really be a challenging process, can it? Frustrating, depressing. We just don't know exactly how long it's going to be, and frequently it doesn't unfold like we want it to or think it should. But I found something that, even though sometimes I felt abandoned and alone because I just felt like I was going backwards, not the case. And this analogy really spoke to me. An arrow can only be shot by pulling it backwards. When life is dragging you back with difficulties, it means it's going to launch you into something great. So just focus and keep aiming. And I think in job transition, or in a lot of challenges in life, right? We don't always know while we're going backwards or feel like we are, when in fact we're just being pulled back to launch into some new direction that's way better than we can imagine. 𝙃𝙤𝙣𝙤𝙧𝙞𝙣 went on to talk about there's a lot of things in life that can be really stressful and challenging. Job transition certainly is one of them. But as you see, as 𝙃𝙤𝙣𝙤𝙧𝙞𝙣 says, the arrow being pulled back, there's a great deal of tension in that process. But you're getting ready to launch into something new and special. In what direction are you being aimed? I don't know, you don't know, but you know what? God does know. He's got this whole thing planned out for you. And Proverbs 3:5-6, I think really addresses this when it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to him, and he will make your path straight. So if that's not a recipe for success in transition and any other challenges, I don't know what is. But join me in prayer, will you? Kind of Heavenly Father, thank you for every person that has joined us this morning. All of us has got journeys and challenges and prayers that some are spoken and not. Please come into each person here and help them to feel your support as their tension, as their arrow is getting aimed, and help them hear the speakers this morning and learn from them and better equip themselves as they move forward. In your kind and heavenly name, amen. Well, I would like to introduce a gentleman who is very familiar to the job market in the Twin City area. He's a recruiter with a small little company you might have heard of, Best Buy, but he knows this space well. He talks with people in job transition all the time, and he's going to write a little bit about his own journey and a few thoughts that he's got. And so, Michael, if you there you go, now we can see you. Fantastic. Great to have you. And good morning, Mr. Hurley.
Morning, Skip. Thank you. And it's great to be here. I'm a big fan of Crossroads, as at least some of you know. So in terms of my story, I guess I'd say I started my relationship with Christ back at the beginning of college, and still growing that relationship and my trust and faith in Christ, and specific to my career, certainly, and his guidance through that, his provision through all these years. And I would say it's almost been even more evident the older I've gotten. So I'm very thankful for that. And I'm not sure, how how I might have navigated through all these years, if you will, without a relationship with Christ and what comes with that. But in terms of my career, as Skip mentioned, I've now been with Best Buy for about 6 years. My career pretty much overall has been in recruiting, but certainly not without job transitions. And I would say it's probably been in the neighborhood of 8, 10, 12 transitions, but who's counting? Started as a youth minister, actually was an account executive after that in sales, went to grad school, worked at a college in admissions, and then moved into the corporate recruiting role that I've been in now, again, the rest of my career for over 20 years. And it's been not an easy road, because I think in part I directed myself versus listening to the Lord's leading and learning more of who I am, who He's made me to be. So I would say I placed myself in a couple environments where it probably shouldn't have been, had I again followed His leading. But I've been, again, in the corporate world. I've been at Target, at General Mills, previously at Best Buy, US Bank, Blue Cross, in consulting roles. And I've been in what we would call an agency recruiting capacity for probably 10 years, which is a difficult, challenging, humbling environment to be in. And again, so you can see there's been a number of transitions. I've been interviewed a lot during this time. Certainly interviewed a lot of people as well in my career, because it's pretty much been all recruiting for professional level positions. But a quick story just to highlight, I think, for me, the importance of listening to God in your career, the power of prayer and answered prayer. So there's one role that I was doing some recruiting for. I was actually trying to recruit recruiters for this particular firm, and was hired by that firm after trying to recruit recruiters for them. And I would say probably within a couple months, as I'm sure some of you have bumped into, I thought this is not necessarily the best place for me and necessarily the best fit. And I was praying with actually a group that I was in a Bible study with about that. It's like, what should I do? Should I leave? Should I stay? Is it me? Do I need to adapt, adjust, etc.? And it just seemed to become more and more evident that I should do something, but I wasn't doing something, and I was listening more to me at that point. And long story short, I ended up being asked to leave the company, and this was after about 6 months. And I was driving home and called one of my friends who I'd been in Bible study with, and I said, this is what just happened. I can't really believe it. What do I do? And he said, wow, what an answered prayer. I almost stopped the car because I was like, what do you mean an answered prayer? I'm now out of a job and I'm back in the transition mode. He goes, well, he said, Mike, you've been praying about this with us. You've been praying about it on your own for pretty much this whole time you've been there. And you weren't making the decision. So apparently God made it for you. So now it's basically, what have you learned? What are you going to do? And I would say, I obviously learned more to count on God's leading, count on prayer, trust in His guidance than I probably ever have. So again, that transition for me was kind of a wake-up call to say, land on what you know, land on what you count on. And again, that's God's guidance, God's prayer, or God's work in us through prayer. And in terms of verses that I've landed on throughout this time, I would say several are from Crossroads, but one is Jeremiah 29, which is, for I know the plans I have for you, declared the Lord, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plans to give you a hope. Then you will call on me through prayer, and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you. You will seek and find me when you speak, excuse me, when you seek with me with all your heart. That has been a big verse for me, because the plans for you, I always talk to our groups about this, but I remind myself that they're not my plans, they're his plans. And we need to lean into him to find out what those plans are. And sometimes they're not, the timing around those plans is not our timing. Again, that's why I lean on that verse to say, you know, it's not about me, Lord, it's about you. And it's been a kind of a rock, if you will. The other verse I would share is James 1:2-4. Consider it pure joy whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. In a nutshell, the transition times that I've been through certainly have grown me, shaped me, basically helped me build perseverance. And I was to say it hasn't definitely not been an easy road. Job transition is not easy. There's certainly been times when I wondered, you know, where do you want me, Lord? Where can I go and have an impact for you? And as I got further down the road in my career, I did think oftentimes who was going to hire me, especially when I was in transition and going into consulting roles. Fast forward, I've now been at Best Buy 6 years, and I can pretty easily say that I feel like I'm in the best place that I've been in my career, in the best match, with the opportunity to impact people for God through my work. And it's kind of amazing. I guess I should say it shouldn't be amazing, because I'm listening to the Lord all this time. So that's a little bit about me. I would say one thing that I love about Crossroads is because it always reminds me that transition happens, change happens. And again, for me, without Christ, without his leading direction, word, I'm not sure how people do it. So encourage all of you to lean into your faith. During the time that I've been working as a leader with Crossroads and facilitating primarily the small groups, there's a lot of people that I've talked to that have revisited their faith, rediscovered their faith, grown their faith. And bottom line, that's what Crossroads is about during this transition time, or these transitions that you'll go through. And that's how to have joy in the process, if you will, which is tough to do. How to have encouragement every day that you're walking in the right direction, that you're doing the right things, that there is an opportunity for you. And again, I think that's what Crossroads is about. That's what these small groups that we facilitate are about. And that's bringing people together to have some accountability, to grow their skills, to grow in their faith. Again, would encourage all of you to lean into Crossroads in that regard. And that's it for me. Appreciate having me.
Thank you so much, Michael. Thank you for your wonderful message this morning and your years of faithful volunteering, helping people, so many people through Crossroads. We really appreciate all that you do, and Best Buy is lucky to have somebody like you to help not only help people in their job, but also remembering that doing it for the right reasons, with Christ leading the way. So thank you again. We really do
Thank you, Skip. Appreciate it.
You bet. So next, our speaker this morning, Karina Muller, is no stranger to the job transition space. She runs a company called Client Centric Consulting and Coaching, has years of experience in working with a lot of people, and what a cool area to work with people in, right? To make sure that they are client centric. And what she's going to be talking about this morning is honoring your values. Gee, what a novel concept that is in our career, right? What a wonderful concept. And unfortunately, there's many folks that either aren't able or just aren't doing that, and that just is not a good feeling. But on the other side, it's a great feeling when we are. So really excited to hear what Karina has to say, and so welcome and good morning, Karina.
Good morning, Skip. Thank you so much. I'm really, really honored to be here. And thank you, Michael, for your absolutely beautiful words. And yeah, thank you all for taking your time to be here with me. And I'm going to share my screen and hopefully you can all see. Here we go. So today is all about honoring your personal and professional values. And thank you for taking this time out of your busy days. And thank you for taking this moment, because I hope this morning is really truly for you. I want this to be an opportunity for you to take some quiet time to reflect on what really truly matters and how you can make this journey, like Michael said, this journey so much more meaningful and so much more on point, because you are showing up and honoring what is really truly best and most meaningful for yourself. So I'd like to start with just a little quote by Gandhi. Keep your thoughts positive, because your thoughts become words. Keep your words positive, because your words become your behavior. Keep your behavior positive, because your behavior becomes your habits. And keep your habits positive, because your habits become your values. And you keep your values positive, because your values become your destiny. So today we're going to take just a little bit of time out. This is all for you. We're going to work on some exercises where you can just make a deeper connection with yourself, understand better what it is that you stand for personally and professionally, as well as figure out how to put that picture together with ensuring that as you move forward through your search, through this journey, you're honoring yourself and you're honoring what is really truly most important to you in this lifetime. So just a little bit about me. I'm a coach and a consultant, and I help people change their life. I help them step into their power to live with joy, meaning, and fulfillment. I work with my clients to figure out what really truly matters to them, and we work together by developing goals and steps to enhance their life. I've been working professionally for the last 30 years. I've been working in corporate America, and for the last 15 years as a coach and as a consultant. But what's most important to me is to help others find greater balance, find improved relationships, and really truly gain meaning and purpose in your life. I started out my career at Accenture, where I really discovered my passion for making a difference for clients. And I earned my MBA from University of Minnesota. I worked for several Fortune 500 companies like General Mills and Honeywell. I've had a lot of personal P&L responsibility. And my most rewarding work really truly has been with individuals and executives, where I help people achieve their personal and professional goals. And as you well know, you can't just achieve your professional goals without really truly focusing in on your personal goals as well. It's all about the big picture. So what we're here to talk about today is your values. We're here to talk about your personal values and your professional values. It is so critical to understand where you truly are in life, where you're coming from right now. And this is such an important time, and it's such an opportunity for you to just really get grounded in what it is that you believe and wrap your head around it. So what are our values? They're our core beliefs that guide our decision-making and behaviors. And our life really flows, and we're most comfortable when we are able to stick and honor our values. We feel uncomfortable and really feel that unhappiness when we're not able to act in accordance to our values. This can really show up in so many different ways. It can show up as anger and anxiety. It can be confusing. But when we honor our values, this is where our best path, the most flow in our life shows up, is when we can live in accordance to what it is that we really truly believe in. And so today is going to be interactive. We're going to take a little bit of time to just think through what it is that matters to you. And you're going to take a little bit of time out to just reflect how you're going to honor your values in the future. So please grab a piece of paper and a pen and just enjoy the journey. It's all for you. Why is it important to honor and know our values? When we're really truly clear about our values, they are like our compass. They offer us a solid and guiding foundation that we can rely on during tough times, especially when important decisions need to be made or when we're being tested. If you believe in living authentically, I definitely do. Being guided by our values gives us the courage to stand up for what's important, to live in the way that we're meant to live, and really truly stay true to who we are and who we want to become. Like I said, it is our guiding light, it is our compass, and it makes things just flow so much easier. Why professional values? Professional values usually go beyond our desire for being paid fairly. So it's about working for a company whose values align with your own and whose mission you can fully get behind. And when employers' values coincide with your own, you're most likely to find that perfect fit. You're most likely to be happier, more productive, increase your job satisfaction, increase your productivity, and find people that you can truly, truly connect with and feel joyful about showing up every single morning and showing up with a state of gratitude. But when you don't have that in a career setting, in a job setting, you can really, truly find yourself in a place that goes against what it is that you stand for. It creates unhappiness, it could create confusion, it can create discouragement. And as a result, it's not great for you or the organization, because it will affect the employer's culture. It will affect their company performance. So why not, in this process, as you look for your next best opportunity and your next best fit, why not take the time to really truly ensure that what it is that you are looking for is very much aligned with what you stand for. So this is today, like I said, this is an opportunity for you to take the time out to really think about what it is that matters to you, what it is that you're reflecting on, and jot that down and keep that in front of you as your guiding light and your compass as you talk to these companies, interview with these companies, and go deeper to really truly understand what it is that they stand for and how well you fit within this potential organization. So I invite you to grab a piece of paper and a pen. We're going to start with an exercise called identifying your values. And what we'll do is we'll take a little bit of time to identify and capture your personal values. And we'll take a little bit of time to identify and capture your professional values. And then we are going to take this information that you have just captured, and we're going to use them as a foundation to determine your priorities and your intentions towards your brightest selves. And with those priorities and intentions in place, we are going to figure out how to leverage this new awareness and make intentional choices about your ideal path. And before we begin, I just invite you just to take a moment, take a deep breath, and put anything aside that may be distracting you this morning. This is a gift that you're giving yourself, this time to reflect and this time to connect with what really truly matters. So put aside anything that might be distracting you, anything that's weighing heavily, and take a moment to go deep within and take a moment to honor you and to give yourself this gift this morning. And again, I'm grateful for being with you, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to share this journey and this small exercise that will hopefully set you up for greater reflection and deeper understanding of who you are and what it is you're seeking for. So now let's just begin. I have this word cloud here for you, and it is a list of what potentially could be your personal values. This is not an end-all be-all. This is not an all-inclusive list by any means, but this is just something to give you inspiration. And so I'm going to give you a couple of minutes here. We'll take about 3 or 4 minutes for you to take a look at this list and jot down 5 to 10 values that best describe you. These are your personal values. We're going to start with personal, then we're going to move on to professional. So please just take a few minutes, take a deep breath, and let's just reflect on what matters to you. I'll come back in a few minutes. Hi, thank you for taking a few moments to reflect on your personal values. I invite you, if you're so called, to share some of your values in the chat. I always gravitate towards values such as family, truth, creativity, nature, and joy for myself. And I'm very curious and would be very honored if you would be willing to take a moment and share what it is that speaks to you. But in the meantime, I want to take us to our next slide, which is just another word cloud of professional values. And we're going to do the same thing that we have just done with personal values. We're going to take a few minutes, and like I said earlier, this is not a complete list. This is just ideas for you to reflect and jot down 5 to 10 values, professional values that best describe you. For example, I'm a really big team person and I love to collaborate. So for me, teamwork and collaboration are huge in a professional setting. And if I'm asked to do something where I can't collaborate, create, and be creative, work as a powerful team towards a goal, that to me, is not a great fit. That to me is not a very complete work environment. So this is just an opportunity for you to think about what it is that you resonate with, what it is that you're looking for, and what it is that's going to make you happy in your next opportunity. So let's take another couple minutes to give you some time to think about, reflect, and jot down what it is that truly matters to you in a professional setting. Thank you for taking the time to reflect. And I'm really grateful for all of you that have been sharing your values in the chat. It's really beautiful to see how this all comes together. And I am absolutely looking forward to see how this is going to come together for you as we continue going through this exercise. And I hope you all have the time to think about and reflect on what matters. Please continue to add your values, personal and professional, to the chat. But I'd like to move us along through this exercise. We have a few more ways that we're going to take some time to really, truly honor ourselves and honor our values. We're going to do an exercise called peaks and valleys. And this is going to be our opportunity to identify situations where we really truly felt like we were at the peak of our career and possibly at the valley of our career, and what we took away from those experiences, because all life experiences are gifts to us. There are treasures that help us grow and help us learn and help us become stronger and more resilient for what's to come. So we're going to start with the peaks. So take a look at the peak. And let's take a few moments to identify these, maybe two or three special peak moments in your life when you professionally felt at your best. Maybe it's when you led a team through a challenging project that turned out beautifully, and everybody on the team pulled together and everybody contributed in their most wonderful, optimal ways. And you took that experience as a highlight in your career. And let's think about what made those moments so meaningful. And as you think about those peak moments, what values were present in being honored at those moments? And think about, your personal values and your professional values, because it's all in the same. You can't be one without the other. So jot those down, share in the chat, take a moment. I'm going to give you a few minutes here, and let's all do some great reflection and capture what were those beautiful moments that made a difference for you professionally as you were growing to become your best professionals. Hi. I hope some really interesting insights showed up for you as you were doing this exercise. It's probably unusual to be in a meeting like this and actually have some quiet reflection time, but to me, the quiet is when the clarity shows up. So, like I said, I'm very honored and grateful that you're here with me this morning and taking the time to really go deeper and understand what is that is true for you deep down in your heart. The next piece of this is looking at the valleys. And this is flipping the peaks. This is all about understanding those difficult moments, those challenges that you went through, those, as I sometimes like to think of them as opportunities where the growth showed up. What were 2 to 3 moments where you felt that you were not professionally at your best? And think about what was missing that caused those feelings. Maybe your integrity was feeling compromised. Maybe you were not feeling honored. Maybe you were not feeling heard. Whatever it was, take those moments, take a few moments here, jot down a couple of occasions where you felt you were not at your best and what values were not being honored when that was happening. So I'll pause, I'll mute myself and we'll pause here again. Thank you. I hope you had a few moments to just reflect on those difficult situations, those valleys where professionally it wasn't all coming together, and what was missing at those times and what was not being honored at those times. Those are often our greatest teachers, and we wouldn't be complete without those experiences. And as difficult as unpleasant they may have been, they really help us see clearly what it is that matters to us, how we want to live our lives. I want to take a few moments for us to just start putting this picture together. So you've traveled through the peaks, you've traveled to the valleys, and all of this has led you to your treasure. So check out the treasure box. And when you think about your values in the context of the experiences that you have just reflected upon, your peaks and your valleys, what shows up for you within your top 5? How do you prioritize them from a personal standpoint and from a professional standpoint? So let's just take a few moments just to jot those down. It's something that you're going to have in front of you through this journey, through this job search, and hopefully through life's challenges, life's greatest beautiful moments, opportunities. And it's something that you can use and reflect upon as time goes on. So let's just take a few moments to jot them down and capture them somewhere where you can keep them close by. Maybe it's in your daily notebook. Maybe you put together a little Post-it note that allows you to look at them when you're getting ready in the morning. Maybe something on your mirror. That always seems to work for me. When I look at something right away, first thing in the morning, it tends to stick with me through the day. And it's just a beautiful practice of how you can keep really, truly what matters to you close to your heart. So I'll give you a few minutes to do that right now. Thank you. So as we put all of this information together, I hope you've had a unique opportunity to really, truly go deep and dig in and understand what matters to you. And this is your opportunity to think about how are you going to take this information to the next level and capture what can you do now to honor your personal and professional values every day? How can you show up for yourself and for others in your life to be your best self, to ensure that your life flows as smoothly as it possibly can? And how can you honor God in everything it is that you do for yourself and for others? And then the other opportunity is, how will you apply this knowledge to your future professional career and or your job search? How will you seek out the information that you need to ensure that the organization that you're considering working for is truly aligned with what it is that you stand for? How can you ask deeper, probing questions to ensure that the culture is going to be a place that's going to make you happy? So many toxic corporate cultures out there, and also so many beautiful, wonderful places that are collaborative, innovative, teamwork oriented, and value integrity, honesty, and truth. How will you really truly pursue what is right for you without compromise, without sacrificing what's important, and show up in the best way possible for yourself and others, for your family, for your loved ones, for your friends? This is just a great opportunity for you to just take a few moments, reflect on the big picture, and jot down a few thoughts. How will you take away this information that you just captured? I'll give you a few minutes. Thank you for taking this time with me this morning. I just want to leave you with a quote. You will never feel truly satisfied by work until you are satisfied by life. So if there's something that's not aligned with your values in your personal life, it's very hard to be satisfied in your professional life, and vice versa. So think about the big picture as you move forward. Think about your personal values, think about your professional values, and continue to give yourself the gift of honoring those and walking in your truth every single day. You don't have to feel like this exercise is complete. You can come back to it. You can reflect on it at any time you like. You have all the tools, and you also have all the answers within you. You are a powerful, beautiful individual, and you can do great things. So thank you for taking the time with me this morning. I'm really, truly honored. I hope you've gotten an opportunity to learn and take away something about yourself. And I am grateful to have had this time with you, and I thank you. God bless.
Oh, wonderful, Karina. Thank you so much. I can tell that you have done this. Just incredible insight, just asking the right questions. I felt like you were sitting right here with me as I was going through the exercises. So thank you. And I know I see a lot of activity on the chat box that people were going right along with you. So I just pray like you do that they will get great insights, which I'm sure they did. Thank you so much for that wonderful message. Really, really appreciate it. Okay, well, let's talk about a few other resources. Armed with the new insights that you've got, thanks to Karina, there's also other resources that Grace has got for you, also free of charge. And before we dive into that, just be interested in the chat box. If you are joining us either for the first time, just write first in the chat box. And if you are joining us from outside of Minnesota, different state, we've gotten people from all over the world that have joined our chats here on Thursday morning. So just love to hear if it's the first time, write first. And if you're from Minnesota, just write for where you're joining us from. We'd love to see it. So hope you found that wonderful, and as I did. But I would like to share my screen with you and talk a little bit about many of the, oh, I see Eric. Hey, Eric, how you doing, Eric? Glad you're able to join us. Glad you found it helpful. But there's a lot of resources that Minnesota Crossroads has got for you, and it is all free. And so you are not entering the job search process alone, and you're not entering it without resource. So I'm going to go through some of them, and I'm just be able to touch on a few because there are many, 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 many resources available to you. So jot down the ones that would be most appropriate. But I found in my own job transition, I'd never looked. I'd started my own company out of college and ran it for close to 30 years. And so I never even looked for a job. And so I had no idea what to do. And there is a process. There really is, about how to search for a job efficiently and effectively. And so don't just wing it and assume, like I did, that, oh, I'll just go on a couple interviews and fill out a few applications and the jobs will just keep pouring in. And my biggest challenge will be figuring out which of the many options that are going to be dropped at my feet will be the one that I'll choose. Well, that didn't happen. And we need to be proactive, and they're out there. But you need to go after them and have a process in place and how to do that. So that's kind of what we'll go through very briefly here. At Minnesota Crossroads, we've actually got 3 churches that we're affiliated with. Our original and primary church is at Grace Church, Eden Prairie. But we're also affiliated with Woodbury Lutheran Church and North Heights Lutheran Church. And when we get back to in person, which will hopefully be sooner rather than later, we all want that, we have in-person groups at each of those locations. At this point, everything is still virtual. And so you can join us virtually from any location you want, here or obviously around the world. So make sure that, that you join us whichever way makes most sense and is most comfortable for you. The mncrossroads.com is an incredible resource. And so it has got everything that you might need in your job transition, from events that we have ongoing, and some really, really cool events, of which this is one. We have workshops the first, second, and third Thursday of every month. There's 3 every single month. And so make sure you check that out. But lots of resources, and even jobs. We have people that are looking for employees sending us jobs all the time, and they are posted on MN Crossroads. So make sure you check that out periodically. There are also ongoing opportunities, weekly ones, that, again, I found incredibly helpful in my job transition. First, if you want to network, there isn't a better networking group for job transition than this one. It occurs every Thursday, just a little bit after we're done here, from 11 or from 9 into 11. Every Thursday is Networking with Grace, and it's run by Wes Tang and Wes Roper that do an amazing job putting together that group. And you join, you do have to sign up. So go onto the website that you signed up for this event and sign up for the networking event. The nice thing about that when you sign up is that a roster is put together. And so that will be sent to you also. So you get the contact information for everybody at the meeting and the companies they've been affiliated with. So it really facilitates networking effectively. And so you can really kind of hone in on what you're looking for and have the best shot at getting it. We also have ongoing one-on-one coaching. So if you have specific questions that you'd like to talk to a coach about, look at your resume or do a mock interview or just strategize about what you're looking for. There is a bunch of us. I am one. Michael, as he mentioned in his remarks earlier, is one. There's I think about 40 of us that are around from all different backgrounds, different careers, different industries. Great resources for you to pick our brains. There's not a whole lot to pick for some of us, myself particularly. I don't have a lot there, but you pick away with what with what little there is. But a lot of great resources, and everybody's there to help you and answer your questions. And so don't hesitate to reach out. I found that to be incredibly helpful. And the other thing is we are big believers in prayer. Prayer is very powerful. And there are people that pray over this group, over people that attend this group constantly. And so you're being prayed for even if you don't ask for it. But if you have a specific prayer request, please let us know and we will certainly pray for it. The other thing that is really, really nice is we have an 8-week class on basically how to find a job as efficiently as possible. And it goes over literally every element of job transition, negotiating, networking, resumes, assessments, just your own attitude, whatever it might be. And it will take you through that. You go through with a group of 3, 4, 5 others. We're adding new groups every month, and so you can sign up at any time. But gosh, I found that helpful just to go through with other people that are going through the same thing. And it's people that you can chat and network with. And I even found it helpful to have an accountability buddy, somebody that was also going through job transition, that we could kind of hold each other accountable, set some goals about number of networking meetings we want to hold or whatever it might be, and hold each other accountable to that. It's easy to come up with excuses, life gets in the way or whatever, but our full-time job in job transition is job transition. And we need to treat it like a job and work hard at it full time. And I found sometimes having an accountability buddy helped me with that. But anyway, the classes are awesome and you can sign up every month. So I'd encourage if you're not in one of those to do so. The other thing is the LinkedIn group. You want to join that, MN Crossroads Career Network. Great resource to connect with other people in job transition, also information, jobs, lots of stuff there. And we also have thousands of alumni that have been through this program over the many years that it's been around, and they frequent the LinkedIn group. And so a great way to network with other people that have been through it and are currently landed and might have a connection at a company that you're looking for. So great resource there. Another thing, I mean, you saw a wonderful presentation by Karina this morning, and we have 3 presentations a month, as I mentioned. And so there is a treasure chest of presentations on our YouTube channel. So go to YouTube, MN Crossroads Career Network, and you will find virtually all the presentations in the past year or two on that channel that you can access anytime you want and watch it as many times as you want. So do so. My goodness, there are wonderful presentations on there about a variety of different subjects. And so find ones that speak to you, that you find interesting, and watch whenever you like. Great, great resource. There's also other resources and a lot of organizations and companies that support what we do at MN Crossroads. I'm very proud that my company, 𝙃𝙤𝙣𝙤𝙧, has been an active supporter of MN Crossroads. And through the support of 𝙃𝙤𝙣𝙤 and many others, we're able to do things like I referenced earlier. In my remarks at the beginning, I referenced this book, How Long, O Lord, How Long, by 𝙃𝙤𝙤𝙬𝙤. He wrote a book about his job transition, and that it didn't go the way he thought it should in his time frame. It was God's timing, which was perfect timing, but he didn't know it at the time. So he wrote a book about it, and it's devotion with great, great insights that just found incredibly comforting and helpful in the process. And so because you joined us here this morning, thanks to a number of the resources, you're going to get a free copy of this book. And so make sure we have your contact information that will be sent to you. So compliments of MN Crossroads, and we're thrilled that you joined us. And so a little gift in that regard. The other thing that I was asked to do is put together some educational workshops dealing with financial issues, which can be very challenging during job transition, challenging anytime, right? Gosh, with the market now, it's kind of a bit wild. But golly, whatever the challenges that we find normally in our financial life, they're just compounded in job transition, aren't they? Because we don't have income normally, the normal income that we are used to. We don't know exactly how long it's going to last. So it's very difficult to plan and strategize. But if you have questions in that regard, there's ongoing webinars that you can also sign up to on this very same site dealing with financial issues. So please don't hesitate to sign up, and happy to help you along that journey also. A number of times it's been referenced the many volunteers that help with this organization. Harry has put together a great team of people, and they're people, most of which I would say have probably been through job transition themselves. Again, from very numerous different backgrounds. And so there's a lot of differences, but the one thing that brings us all together is you. We are here to help you in your journey. And so reach out to any of the resources that we've discussed, and one of these smiling faces is going to be part of it to help you, whether it's on the one-on-one coaching or any of the other things that we have in store. The church groups that we're affiliated with, if you don't have a church home, reach out to any one of them. Hopefully one is in your general vicinity, wherever you may be joining us from, but all wonderful organizations, and would love to help you on your faith journey if that's something that you'd be interested in. So those are resources that MN Crossroads has for you, a lot of them. And so make sure you take advantage of that. Again, you're not alone. And so I spoke earlier about an arrow, and a lot of times in job transition in life, we feel like we're going backward and we feel tension and stuff. But then when we finally aim and release, we are propelled right into the bullseye that God intends us to be in. I pray that you will have guidance from God and insight as to what that is. Focus on the exercises that Karina went through, and helping to hone on your values and how to make sure that you're a good fit. That's going to be a fulfilling fit, and a fit that's going to speak to you and fulfill you in whatever you end up doing. But my prayer is that will be all helpful parts of your journey, and it will end, as I know it will, as God is in charge in a job and a career and an endeavor that's better than you can possibly imagine. Blessings to you, and we hope to see you again soon at the next upcoming event at MN Crossroads. The next workshop is going to be next Thursday evening, not during the day or in the morning. It's in the evening, and it's a great many of you may be familiar with a gentleman by the name of George Murray. He wrote a book called Hired: Cutting Your Career Search Time in Half, and he's going to be speaking on the 4 gears of job transition. And it will be great. George knows his stuff. If you've ever met George, he is an intense guy and he knows job transition, and he'll be a great resource for you. So that is Thursday evening, June 9th from 7 to 8:30. So join us there at any of the other things that we have for you at MN Crossroads. Again, blessings to your journey, and we hope to see you again soon. Take care.